how is Colorado going to shut down Avery Johnson? Obviously, he's pretty damn athletic, one of the fastest players in the country. Not the best passer, but I mean, he can get it done. What does Colorado do? What does Colorado have to do to shut him down?
Well, look, Avery Johnson is a weapon. He was super. I think he's the most highly recruited player that's ever gone to Kansas State, if I remember correctly, when he did commit there. He didn't hit the transfer portal. He didn't try and press as a freshman to play in front of Will Howard. So, the kid's hungry and humble, but he's a problem. Everybody that they play, if he goes off, Kansas State wins. At BYU, the whole team struggled, not just him. The special teams was terrible. They gave up like a 97-yard punt return. So, it depends completely on how he's going to react walking into that stadium and that environment. It's going to be crazy up there at 8:15 Saturday night. I wish I could go, but it's not in the cards this week. Yeah. Look, if you're just talking about quarterback comparisons here, I'll take our guy every day and twice on Saturday.
I agree.
But in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if this kid stays healthy, if he's got Kansas State humming, when he's a junior, senior, because he's only a redshirt freshman, bro. He's a baby. So I'm sure that he's going to get tampered with in the transfer portal big time. I'm sure that, big time squads will go after him to see if they can lure him. Yeah. But we'll see. He's a stud though. And if we don't contain him, he's going to tear us up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Shoot. Well, let's dive into some stuff, man. Coach Prime was talking about this team after the UCF game, and I mean, like we just said, in order to shut down Avery Johnson, hell of a talent, very athletic. Colorado's got to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to the film study, and Coach Prime actually commented about that, their work ethic on their film study after the UCF game, and had this to say. Take a listen.
The unity is what that was.
Interesting.
In the film study, like the film times have skyrocketed. It's like 2 hours mandatory each week. Yeah. During the week. Now I'm looking at the film, it's double because we had a bye week, but you looking at 6 hours, man. You're looking at the times are just enormous. You're like, man, wow, these guys are getting it.
Oh, so you've seen guys respond to that now with what they've done.
I've seen guys just take it to another level.
Right.
With their film study, their preparation, their communication on the field, their calling out plays before it happens, even in the inside run and team run and all that stuff. They're doing a phenomenal job, and they're getting to know each other. Yeah. They really are.
Matt, your thoughts on that?
Look, film study is the key to football. And I wish that I could have had the same knowledge I had in the NFL that I didn't in college. I didn't study film. I didn't know I wasn't studying film right. I was just watching my position and looking for tendencies on the O-line. I didn't really learn how to break down tape and do it correctly until I got moved to offense, and then I had Bill Callahan as a coach.
Yeah.
Consequently, was the head coach at Nebraska when I was a senior at CU, and then he was my offensive line coach in the NFL. That's why you burn bridges.
True.
Look, film study can make you either a proactive football player on defense and offense or a reactive football player. And look, there's some really good reactive football players. Like Lawrence Taylor didn't study a fucking ounce of film. He was a great reactive football player. Johnny Manziel didn't study any film, and he was a terrible reactive football player. So just, there's a difference between studying and watching. Like, there's a lot of people that just watch tape. Like, you have all these videos that I post. The Dungeon Family, if you're a member for $2.99, you get to see all of them, and I try and do at least once a week.
Yeah.
But watching film and studying film are two very, very different things. Like, I'm going to just say this right now. I got, Coach Stokes is in there talking about his son studying tape and other people. Like, it's so important. So if you get a marker right now on a whiteboard or a piece of paper and a pen, and I say to you, draw me 11 3x1, tight end ISO left, close bunch right nasty, under Sam stack, strong safety force, cover one fence man. It's 60 protection. Where's the squeeze gap? How are we sliding to protect the Sam in 60 pro? And if we want to switch it to 70, do we still point him? What is the squeeze gap and why are we calling it? How is that going to adjust when the linebacker walks in? What does cover one mean? What does fence mean? Why are they in an underfront? These are all pre-snap. I'm not even talking about the play. I'm not talking about shit with the play. So there's all these goddamn experts out here that just watch positions and try and break down film, and I find it laughable. And I wish that I would have studied film professionally the way that I think these kids are, because they're being pushed by professionals. And I'm not saying our coaches weren't.
Mhm.
It was a different time. We had VHS tapes and shit. There wasn't like
It's not
I
hard.
couldn't go on NFL Network and fucking break down just random games from 5 years ago and shit. You didn't have that kind of film.
Yeah.
So you had to what you had to work with. And I think that one of the reasons I can teach it the way I do, and I help so many guys that actually want help, because everybody just want tips, dude. It's just my whole time, every fucking DM, it's like wearing me out. Every fucking direct message, every email is like, can I get some tips? No, dog, there's no tips. It doesn't work like that. The fucking tips aren't going to work. You have to study. It's a football, it's a language. And if you don't speak the language, it doesn't even matter what I say to you.
Yeah.
Like, coaches get angry at me in high school here in fucking Hobbytown, Colorado, which is just laughable to me also. But they're like, well, why do you watch NFL tape with the high school kids? And I'm like, well, first of all, I want them to manifest to the screen, because I'm from here and I got to play.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of guys that have come for the program that are from here got to play. That's one. And number two, I have to teach them all the basic shit before I can even talk to them about anything that I'm seeing. What am I going to get somebody in the room and start talking about film and breakdowns of, like, for example, if I'm going up there to do K-State tape with CU, right? And I'm in there talking and they don't understand any of the terms I'm using or why I'm using them, and they don't understand what I'm talking about. They know the scheme, but they don't know the terms. We're speaking two different languages, and that's kind of my point about this whole thing. So you can tell that they're watching film like professionals.
Yeah.
Especially the defensive line and the offensive line being led by professionals, and Sapp and Lewis and Coach Lodeholt, and then your OC is a professional head coach and offensive coordinator, and your head coach just happens to be a gold jacket wearing best player ever. So there's NFL guys all over the field. Livingston's an NFL guy, so they're treating it like it's an NFL football team, and it's working, bro. Like, number one run defense, and O-line's progressing, and it's just they're getting better and better and better, and a lot of it is the mental side for sure.